manufacturing in industries like steel, paint, automotive electricals, and instrumentation. He was also expertised in risk management, turnaround strategies, quality management, organization development, process improvement, planning, and implementation. He was certified lean expert in manufacturing, green belt in Six Sigma, and also operation management from B School. Now, let me request Mr. Rajesh Anandaraju to take over the session. Please, sir.
Very warm good afternoon to everyone. So my voice is very clear, no? Clear and audible.
No, voice is breaking.
Hello?
Your voice is breaking.
But I could hear you. Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better. Okay.
So shall we proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So first of all, it's my privilege to address this esteemed faculty member and the topic industrial exposed teaching pedagogy. So this is a very relevant topic for both the industry side and also the teaching faculty. I want this session to be an interactive rather than an one-way communication. So to make it more interesting and learning, because what I believe is, yes, whatever last 2.5 decade of industrial experience and what I learned and what I observed, that is what I will be sharing. And in the same way, I would also like to hear from you and take a learning from you during this session. That's what I propose. Hope that is very acceptable to everyone. So I will give an insight and my experience as what was it when I joined as a GET, and later when I started taking GETs, inducting for my organizational requirement, what all experience gained, that's what I would share. Hope the screen has moved.
Yeah, it's
okay, fine. So before getting into this topic, I would like to give an introduction. So I want to give a relevancy of this topic. So what we see, skilled and well-groomed human resources are the strength of any nation worldwide. Though primary and secondary education are of no less important, it is the higher education which determines the growth of a nation. Any strategy of nation building can only be fruitful at the grassroots level only when a country's citizens possess the right skills, right vision, and the right values. So it is very imperative that the higher education system is designed and formulated in such a way that it produces graduates, postgraduates who are equipped with professional skills, a broad knowledge base, competencies to perform in the field, and not the least, aptitude to contribute to the nation growth. In the last decade of 20th century, precisely after 1990, Indian education sector gained a big momentum by privatization. So this resulted in unprecedented expansion and diversification of higher education. And it gave huge number of increase in colleges, universities, and academic institutions. So really this is a boom, or I would say it's a positive side, because this is required for any developing nation with such a huge population. Also, it has a negative side, rather than I would say negative side, which I would put it as a challenge. So the challenge is, how do we enhance and maintain the academic quality? So these challenges needs to be readdressed on a priority for a simple reason, because any substandard academic institutions will produce substandard human resources, which again is an obstacle for the national progress. So that is what the preface or introduction, how relevant this topic in today's scenario or any day's scenario. With this introduction, I would like to give some contextual data, whatever I said. So this I referred from Journal of Critical Reviews, that latest edition of December 2020. There is a survey done by aspiring, it's under the National Employable Report. So this survey was done across states involving around 170,000 students. So the first two charts are, okay, so it is the increase in colleges and universities, is that's what these two. But the more relevant charts are these, which gives an shocking, or I would say revealing information. Mere 47% of students get opportunity to get industry, at least the talks, and book concepts. So what is it telling? So this results in producing a degree holders who lack skills, so that employable. Also, this document, this report proposes inductive teaching and experiential learning. So I believe the teaching faculty is very well versed with what is inductive teaching and what is experiential learning. It basically tells learn by discovery and learn by putting yourself, getting that experience. So what it will give the students the optimum opportunity so that we can bring their individual creativity, inherent natural talents, and innovative capabilities. Also, this will produce professionals who possess the right aptitude and the right skills required to become employable in future. So this is what the report proposes. So there is a saying that you retain 10% only of what you read, and 26% of what you hear, 30% of what you see, and 50% of what you see and hear, and 70% what you say. Only 90% is what you say and what you will do. Okay, let me give this supply-demand mismatch. So when any disruption or when something is not right, always there will be a demand or supply versus demand mismatch. What I mean here, supply is the freshers and the GTs who get into an employer. Before we get into the points, what I would like to narrate my experience so that to understand and give perspective what I have put it here. I joined as a GT after a couple of rounds of interviews into a steel plant. So it's, it's a steel plant. So after I joined, I was given induction by the quality manager. I was with him for 1 week. So I was going wherever he goes and whatever he does, he says I used to do. So after a week, the organization felt they need resource in production. So when you say steel plants production, so that too it is a furnace. So which the environment where you operate at 1200 or 1300 degree centigrade temperature and with fully dust and dirt. So that's the environment where you have to work. So they said from tomorrow you report to production. So I went to the furnace. So what I was asked to do. So it's an furnace. Obviously, you will have a charging bunker. So it was not such automated what you see 25 years back. So it is a charging bunker, highly manualized, where you put the basic pig iron raw material and then you add limestone and silica. So I was asked to, so these are handled manually by workers, contract employees. So they will weigh each charge before charge the limestone and silica. So they will weigh, I have to record. So this is what I was doing. So it's a very dusty environment. So I have to wear mask. So I was exposed to mask that point of time and helmet. So completely drenched in sweat. So this was the first task I was doing. So a month went. So I used to meet the other GTs who joined with me. So they used to say, I have learned this, I have done this technical thing, I have done this. So I felt where I have reached. So after a month plus, I think, one day I walked straight to the topmost head of the organization. I met the factory manager and I told him, sir, I'm not interested. I don't want to work because I can't work. So in this atmosphere or in this thing, what I need is, I have done mechanical engineering, so I need some technical thing. So anyway, I was fortunate. He listened and he liked the way I went straight away and approached him. So he moved me to maintenance. That is where my career in maintenance of huge steel plant involving utilities, MHEs, cranes, pumps, huge compressors, all this started. So this was just that sharing. So let me come to the point now. So what is it the mindset, the fresher or GT, anyone who wants to join? You'll be highly focused. Yes. You'll have good or high learning appetite because he has finished degree, he wants to learn something. And he will be keen to prove. So whatever the task you give, you will be willing to complete it. Yes, of course, he will have only theoretical knowledge, And you will have this ambiguity, which function to go, whether to go to production, whether to go to quality, whether to go to maintenance, or whether to go to materials. So you will have this ambiguity. So these are the things which is there on the minds of the freshers. When you see the employer, it's very simple. You place the person, whomever you have taken, wherever the vacancy exists. It is possible you have taken for an maintenance act, but you will put him in quality because that's what the need of the business. That is what you have to, because you have to run the business, correct? So you will get place wherever vacancy exists. Give him the laborious or repetitive work because he is the beginner, so he will have to learn all things, and put him, give him basics or trivial things. Also, expect him to stay long hours so that he is no other way he has to come. And also call him on weekends. So I was fortunate enough that time. So I worked only 6 days, was not called on weekends. And also put him prepare reports, data entry. These are the things it happens. I am not saying this is what happens in every organization. Predominantly or prevalently, this is what the scenario when a GT enters. I will narrate why and what later. So I want to give a snapshot of how this gap of supply versus demand happens. So if that is what it is, what is expected? So obviously, a very sound technical, logical reasoning and aptitude, correct? This is what has been checked in the MQs. And try to understand the candidate's interest area or interest field, whether he is having deeper insights. Any skill set, additional skill set, whether he has done some CAD or he has done some basic EDA. So this is what we try to check, what is expected. And also try to understand what are his aspirations, what does he want to become, who is his role model. So this is what is all expected, correct? And of course, high flexibility and adaptability so that he is able to meet the flexible requirement of the very fluid organization structure and requirements, and very good commitment level, of course, that is required. So here I would like to give one more example. So earlier I said, as a GET, what I faced. After a few years, or after a few 10 years or 12 years, when I became manager and I was supply chain manager, I used to take GETs. So yes, it is what I was seeing is, and the attitude, they're very sharp, and the solutions, the OOB, out of the box solutions which they give. So this is what I have seen the candidates, whomever I have recruited, and I have been mentored them and see that what someone today achieves in 10 to 15 years, these guys achieve that in 3 to 5 years time. Because I've seen the spark and then the out of the box solutions which they come out and throw. They're very bold. You can't control them in the sense, I used to give a full freedom for them so that they can go and whatever they want to change, whatever they want to implement, I encouraged that. So that is what is the other side, what I have also experienced. when I recruited GETs or freshers and groomed them so that they can be able to pick up the organizational needs and help them to have a better career. Okay, so what can be done, particularly by the faculty? So what I have put is instigate the interest and guide to build that career path. So we all know the students, they will be fascinated, they will be having interest to few topics, few subjects, which they will be doing very well. Few they may not be liking, few they will be at an average. So where does this interest comes? Let me tell when I was studying, I have a very strong interest and fascination towards theory of machines because the staff, the professor who taught was very make it interest so that I picked up the interest and I was very much interested on that topic. But unfortunately, I could not pursue my career in that line. So this is the interest where every student will have. We need to tap this interest. We need to touch this interest. We need to instigate the interest so that they have a hold point. Once we know the interest, we have to give constant and continuous encouragement, and we need to be an enabler. So how this can be done? Also, I say we need to be a catalyst to dream. We have to make that guy visualize, think about, have a dream what he is going to do after the 4 years. So what I mean here is we have to providing the industry specific insights. I have given few examples. When you say, let me take the mechanical, where you have different industry streams. You have auto, you have triple M, that is mines, minerals and metals, oil and gas, food and beverages, FMCG, power. So we need to give him an insights. What does these industries mean? What does this industry do? How they are the growth potential? What are the projects which they are taking? So how these contribute to the economy of the country? So what are the and what are the services they come out? What does they contribute as in GDP growth? So we have to give them the industry's precise insights. It can be in electrical also. It's again a huge topic, huge field. You have power generation, transformer, distribution business, automation lines, low voltage or medium voltage, high voltage switchgear industries. So you have to give him the perspective insights so that the guy can dream what he want to land, which should tie up with his interest. So he has interest, he knows about the industry, so he can start dreaming. That is what we love to facilitate or be a catalyst. And also, apart from the industry specific insights, I would like to add on give deeper understanding on the roles or functions of an organization. If you take a manufacturing setup, again, you have different functions: production, quality, maintenance, purchase, supply chain, application engineering, or be in software where you have a front-end developing, back-end developing data scientist or application developer. So given the roles and functions of each field so that the person is interest and he can visualize where he wants to reach. So this is what can be done as a faculty. What we need to do is, instead of getting right fit, shape yourself to fit rightly. So this is what can make a person available. So I think every industry does. This is not something new which I'm telling. So you will have industrial visits, interactions with professionals, call guest lectures from the industry experts, provide industry internships to the industries, and give the trainings so that they pick up the required skill sets. You can undertaking scientific and research from the enterprises so that they can take a project from that field. These are the options and avenues available, which everybody is following. I'm not saying this is something new. And also, there are options available from the government side. So, under the Ministry of Labor and Employment, so you have this National Institute of Career Sciences. Just Google it and see. They also have the training programs for students to get employable. And next, the famous Skill India scheme, so which is under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So they provide a technical and vocational training framework for the students. And also this one, NEEM scheme, which is being jointly by Government of India and AICTE. So they provide schemes where a student can get industrial experience and exposure. So these are the schemes available from the government sectors also. So all this, what is that it will yield? This will make the person to figure out and give him the maturity where he will suit based on his individual caliber. Also, it will help him to acquire. He need to focus so that he can be successful in his future. So these things can be made an integral part of the curriculum so that the employability of the students is significantly improved. Also, while studying, when we give this exposure and insights to him, it can really boost their entrepreneurial capabilities. So this is the strength of what? By exposing the students to the industry side. Okay, so I propose this model, which is a clear-cut differentiator. So I put it as target model, and institutes are doing this. Maybe I would like to emphasize what is the point which I want to take a note. Here we are targeting as industry, we are targeting an organization. So what I propose is the institutes should engage with the industry and they enter into an MOU. So when the MOU is entered, I propose the placement cell or the placement officer visit the organization wherever they have entered the MOU, understand the business needs, list down the competencies and skills, what they are looking for. So once you understand what the organization is going to do, what is that they are looking, you come back, tailor and groom the students. What I mean is train them, give them the industry exposure, give them the knowledge, give them the skills and competencies which they have to acquire, so that we are very, very precise in meeting what is our targeted industry is looking. So then place the students, obviously you will see a very high, and also the model will work a win-win for both the institutes and the industries. So this is done. I am not saying this is not currently practiced. This is today practiced, but I want these to get institutionalized at a larger scale. This should work as a process. So you have 10 to 15 industries or organizations in your kitty. So you meet them once in 6 months or whatever frequency is comfortable, list down their business needs, list down their what they are looking, go back and feed and train the students to precisely match the industry what it is looking. So I've given few industry use cases so that it is very clear how does it can work. Let's take a retail industry. Let's assume that their vision is support portal. It means they will come up with all the products and services catalog in the portal. They will make the customer interactive within the portal. They can come up with the app. They can, all the customer complaints will get logged and the customer resolution will happen in the digitized environment. So what does these engineering graduates need if they need to penetrate here? You can recommend them basics of data science or EDA, pick up BA and data analytics, also add on exposure to Six Sigma or RCA tools. So engineering graduate having these skills figured out to this industry. I've taken another example of electrical. So as the vision is, see the industry's vision is targeting huge oil and gas or refinery project. Because I know I worked with recently to a couple of large projects, HML, that is Hindustan Mittal Energy Limited, and HRL, Hindustan Rajasthan Refinery Limited. So it's a huge job, huge project. So where you will need huge scope of business growth, and which will translate obviously into huge number of surging jobs. So I've given here application engineering demand because this will really straight away trigger out application engineering demand. It's not only the application, so there are many sectors which will get huge potential for job. Just give an example of the application engineering demand. So you can recommend the guys to pick up E-Plan or E3, visit the application engineering tool, guy who uses the tools to draw the basic electrical diagrams, power is simulators or circuit simulator. Definitely will suit an industry which is having this target. And I have taken warehousing and logistics industry. See that their vision is expand the footprints across country. So what does the skill set will be required? Obviously the inventory models, inventory management tools, RC model or ABC analysis. These are the skill sets which is required to get into that industry when their industry need is they want to expand their footprint. Again, another typical example from manufacturing. So their vision says they want to grow by this percentage in the next 3 years. So obviously the current capacity will not meet the requirement. So what they have to duplicate or increase the number of manufacturing setup. So what is that skill set required? Obviously, when you are going to duplicate the production lines or increase the number of units, you will need a lean expert who understand the lean concepts and then implement in the field. You will need 7 QC tools and you need the relevant production technology. Say if it is in plastic molding industry, so you need to have the basics molding technology and how does a molding machine operates, how does the molding process works. Or if you want a machine tool, you give the insights of depth of production machine shop. So these are the industry use cases where I would say we are precisely targeting and we are hitting it. This is exactly the outcome based teaching I would rather say. You know what is outcome? You are preparing for it. Or I would say, you know the question paper and you are going back and preparing the answers. So this is how this model works. So it's to me, it is can work very beautifully and it will be a win-win for both the industry and the institutes. Okay, then since I come from Yokogawa India Limited, I want to share or tell what practices we have. So obviously facilitates the industrial visits, which has been done across everyone. So we have certified training program. It's a 2 week training program. In the first week, it is both DCS and PLC training is given. And the second week, field instruments. So it's a paid training, but it's a certified one. So wherever you go, you will have the value of the trainings, what you acquired. And also, we have internships for both PG and UG. So for UG, it is 3 months, and for PG, it is 9 months. So these are the things which is currently practiced in Yokogawa. So this is what I thought of sharing with you. My take on industrial, when I mean what does the teaching profession can pick up, or what is there, how do we make this society, how do we make the students who pass out, who have good skills and competencies, so they are really highly employable. So if any questions, I'm glad to take the questions.
Participants, do you have any queries? Participants? One question from my side.
Yeah,
Shall I
please.
ask?
Yeah, please.
Actually, the core industry is concerned. Our younger generation students are they are actually they are not much interested to join the core industries because the core industries are paying very lesser amount of salary instead of the software industries. My question is how to uh, create an interest to the younger generation to move such the core industries. Can you give me a suggestion, sir?
Yes, sure. We can't, the point which you say is their package, say, salary package is higher in IT sector compared to the core, correct? That is one of the reasons. So that we can't change because that is by nature it will happen. But what I can suggest is Yeah. So this slide, this particular points which I would like to re-emphasize again is, as I told you, that we need to tap the interest. Each student or each individual will have likings and interest in different subjects and different topics. Okay, so we need to tap or bring out that interest, giving complete industry insights. Say, for example, which I said, so if the guy is have interest in some, I put it like, uh, let us take an electrical guy who is having very clear fascination or interest towards circuit theory and circuit things. Okay, so he has, it means he can be groomed, he can be encouraged to get into a designer or to an application engineer. So what is the industry? So we can we can give focus to what are the industries. Obviously, he can get into a transformer industry, get into a switchgear industry, which has the application of engineering, where you will have a lot of circuit theories, circuit concepts are used. So this sort of giving him an vision that how interest can get materialized in an industry. If you link this and what all he can perform, and we can attach to him and role model, so that the guy is very clear his interest is getting nurtured, and then easy and clear cut role model. This is what will help the students or the individuals to get into core industries. Uh, I would say, yes, of course, you have a glamour of the IT industry, but it's not the only the salary will matter in the initial. After some time, definitely the salary will not be a criteria after 3 or 4 years. It is the interest and it is the job satisfaction that will make the guy to progress and have his growth will determine based on the job satisfaction.
Thank you, sir. Participants, anybody? Okay. Shall we close the session, sir?
Okay, thanks for giving this opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you to everyone.
Okay, sir. I thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh Anandaraju, for sharing his valuable knowledge towards the younger generation and also the faculty as well. He has presented very many things regarding inductive teaching, and he has given the statistical data of the graduate students, which described about the employability skills. And also he has shared his personal working experience in the industry to motivate the students, and what is the industry requirement from the graduate students, and what is the role of a faculty member in the development of students, and what are the options which are available for the students across the country for the employability, and how to improve the employability skills, and what is the role of faculty members towards the development of the students. So thank you, sir, and on behalf of Indian Society for Technical Education and Sri Sai Ram Institute of Technology, Thank you once again for your excellent presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Participants, I have posted the feedback form link in the chat box. Kindly fill it out.
க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாமா? க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாமா?
Sir, ஒரு 2 minutes wait பண்ணுமா சார்? ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் கம்மியா இருக்கு. Participants, kindly fill it fast. Those who have completed the feedback form, you can leave the session. Sir, session close பண்ணிக்கலாம் sir.